Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? Happy St.
Hey, happy St. Patty's Day. By the way, I am
St.
Russian.
Patty's Day to you, Chip.
I'm Irish. Quarter Irish.
Nice. Well, there you go. Happy Guinness Day. Happy Jameson Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Tonight, we are going to be talking about, you know what, Chip? 1 billion XRP. That's right. 1 billion XRP. 1 billion.
XRP.
Billion XRP. You know what? That's an XRPL grant. You got to get some of that XRP.
Hey. You ready to do it?
Chip. Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Look at this one, Jeff, starting it off. Barbara Taylor said, "Hey, Chip, I took a funny picture of you the other night when you were making faces, and I put it on my Twitter. I don't know how to get it to you." Well, you just tagged me at Stephen Chip with a PH, and that's how you get it to me.
It's on your Twitter.
And then it's on your Twitter. That's great. Maybe do we want more people to see it? Yeah, that was funny. What Goop did the other night too, where he said, "I'm like, people are probably screenshotting." He was like, that was pretty good. Very good. Yeah, so we're going to get into a bunch of. There's actually a lot of good Ripple stories tonight, which we'll dive into and sort of dissect. But I was really happy to see what a great day. There's a lot of. Why don't we jump into this first one, Jeff? Because I think it's just really awesome. It's entertaining, it's awesome, and very cool. So let's look at this all at the same time. And you know what's really great? Now, I'll tell you what's really cool is that Ripple never misses the little details. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the tweet for RippleX. This is from at RippleX Dev. Today, Ripple is committing 1 billion XRP to expand XRPL grants. This funding will help. What's it going to do? Well, it's going to launch an accelerator program, a DeFi program, a sustainability program, an expanded grants judging committee.
Okay, now we're excited.
Wait a minute. So an accelerator program, great, check. That's startups.
DeFi
program,
awesome.
Check. The next one, I don't get it. What that has to do, I don't know what that is. The next one, they already launched a sustainable program. It's called XRP. You don't need to launch it on an expanded grants judging committee. It's like we now have more judges to judge your project. We don't like it. So basically what they're saying is they have a centralized system set up for judging who gets in and who doesn't.
That's that might be a good thing.
It's their money. These are experts they're choosing, Jeff.
It's their money. They got to review, see, who's applying.
Look at this,
and you got to take time going through the grants. Make sure
St. Patty's
giving them out well. Look at that.
It's green, and so is my face because my face got instantly green, just like that. I was not feeling too good, Jeff.
Chip Hulk.
You don't like Chip when Chip mad. So this is pretty good. I mean, this is a really, I'm really excited about this because and there's another story that we'll get into in a little bit, but this really puts a lot of focus on Ripple. Devs flocking to it. The XRPL is already phenomenal. But just to get a little bit more of a taste, it said getting started on the XRPL, XRP ledger should be easy. Scaling a project to real world implementation shouldn't be slowed by barriers to entry like capital, experience, resource dependencies. That's why Ripple, huge. Isn't it amazing?
I like, that's that's really key. And think about, getting started. So think about how many people want to get started, have projects, have ideas, and they say, you know what? I got to get capital. I need experience. I need some experienced people that can help me build out this idea.
Yeah.
And, I need some resources and I need, there's more to building out this project. How can I put this all together? How do I get to the RippleX dev team and say, hey, I need some help?
Yeah. But I mean, you think about it. So it's funny now because you say, well, 1 billion XRP when it's sub-dollar, what if it shoots to $3? That then turns into a $3 billion fund. So, because they're not going to disperse it like next week. Like, okay, we dispersed 1 billion XRP. Sorry, guys, it's already gone. They're not going to do that.
Let's try this one more time.
Yeah, next time it'll be $1.5 billion or something along those lines. But it said that's why
do
Ripple's
$1 billion a
making
month.
That's why Ripple's making a 1 billion XRP commitment to the XRPL grants program to provide long-term resources, support global developer projects built on the XRP ledger, and continued commitment to fostering community and supporting their work. We saw enthusiastic response from developers in the first 2 waves of the XRPL grants program, with $6 million distributed to over 50 open source projects related to NFTs, federated sidechains. Wave 3 of the XRP grants program is still open. Now, $6 million. This is a billion XRP.
Million.
It's
yeah,
massive.
we're talking about like at this point,
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Some big numbers that are being put out there. They are at a point now. We're talking about takeoff time. So think about this objective of the enforcement division of the SEC.
Oh, hang on a second, Jeff.
Gary the enforcer. Oh man. Oh, see, look at that.
See that, Jeff? You got your Guinness?
Look
at this. Hey,
I'm
gonna go ahead and crack it.
Oh,
listen to that thing. Oh,
listen. Okay, now you got to pour that on.
Look at that chocolatey goodness. Look at that.
Hope you got it kept at room temperature.
No way, dude.
Room temperature here isn't quite the same as room temperature over there. So
yeah. It's a very look at you can't see that frothy head, but
here you go. Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
There you go.
Oh, Clink. I'm sorry. What is that? Oh, it's a Miami Heat pint glass. There you go, Jeff. I do have a Guinness glass, a pint too, but
that's good stuff. Here we go.
Man, look, you got a little mustache on the top. Ah, that's nice.
Good and refreshing.
Oh my God, that's so refreshing.
And
you know what people don't realize about Guinness too?
It's
very light, but very light in calories. People don't know that. Something a lot of people don't know. Man, I forgot how good Guinness was. Of course, there's nothing better than drinking it in a pub in Dublin.
Man, that's the best.
Fantastic.
Yep.
All right, so let's jump back into this story. That we had a little break. An extension of the initial program, the 1 billion XRP will provide 10 times the financial, technical, and business support to all kinds of developers, from those familiar with the XRPL to those to new to the technology. Fund will be dispersed over the next 2 decades. So that's 20 years.
Oh, wait. What?
Yeah.
Over the next 2 decades? 20 years?
Well, think about it. Think about how much. Think about it, Jeff. How much will XRP be worth in 20 years?
Oh, that's true.
You could turn it into $1 trillion at that point.
There's a good initiative. So basically they're saying, hey, you know what? We're taking this billion, we're setting it aside, and this 1 billion is going to be used for this purpose. And so they're also setting their sights, like you said, on the plan of increased valuation of the XRP, because that whatever that couple 100 million adds up to at 75 cents in XRP,
750 million.
So if you have that 20-year distribution of 750 million, probably.
Well, that's just today. That's the value today. What's it going to be worth in 5 years?
Exactly. So, but I like this idea. 10 times the financial, technical, and business support that is currently available. All of those things are needed. I like the idea of the business support too. Technical and business support, obviously the financial key, but imagine you have your project and you need the technical and business support. Then you're going to go out and shop the project and get a fundraise for it.
Yeah, right on.
But you need the technical and business support. I like this idea of the XRPL pulling ideas together with the team, the team that can help build it out. That's definitely, something that's.
Well, that's what a traditional accelerator is, where you have mentors, you work in a program, usually anywhere from 2 to 3 months long. And this is where it comes in. Funds programs are specifically designed to accelerate, train, mentor, and scale projects developed by the XRPL community. Now and in the future, providing the opportunity for any developer to join the XRPL community and leverage the feature of this carbon neutral public blockchain. Speed, cost, efficiency, scalability is a key driver behind these funds. Superior tech capabilities in combination with expert business support allows developers to scale their apps from just an idea to a new business or use case on the XRPL. And I think, Jeff, what might be interesting about this whole thing is what kind of use cases are people going to come up with? Maybe something that hasn't been thought of yet.
Something brand.
Who knows, Jeff?
It's fantastic. I think, I'm
superior.
pumped up about it. I'm really pumped up. I think at this point, if you look around, you've got the Ethereum Foundation. You've got some people in the Bitcoin area. You've got the Shiba guys with the Shiba verse and all.
There's never been anything like this, Jeff.
All these communities all over the place, but you have nothing that's like super business focused, business centric, development centric. Everything that Ripple is doing right now in this space, and the XRPL development, man, that's just phenomenal. I think that these guys are taking a major step forward as a leader in the crypto space, to develop and build in the crypto space and really make a mark,
it's
overall.
never been done before. It's never been done. So remember, they gave 100 million to Forte, and we thought, wow, that's huge. And then there was some other projects out there that did 100 million, 200, 250 million. But this right here, funny thing about it is it's not in USD, it's XRP. So 1 billion, even if it goes up to, just imagine, let's just say it hits $5 and within 5 years, that's conceivable. So if they disperse 25% of the fund, what's the fund worth then? It's a lot. That's a lot of money.
It still grows. It keeps growing. It's going to keep growing and growing. I mean, it's outstanding. And like XRP says, Shiba, serious business. But,
hell yeah, it is.
But Ripple, on the other hand, man, these guys are crushing it. That's why everyone's so pumped up about Ripple and and XRP, and that's why the SEC is so pumped up about Ripple. Think about that. Think about that.
I've thought about it.
Think about what the SEC knows.
I just think what I love about Ripple is they just don't care. They give 0 Fs. It's really, honestly, they don't care. They move along like nothing's ever happened. It's like, it's just a blip. It's just a blip on a long.
Ralph Cooper.
Okay, so let's get into the rest of this. Following goals, top of mind as Ripple moves forward. Accelerator program, that's the multi-month boot camp that will provide projects on the XRPL business and financial support, training and mentorship.
Man, that's awesome.
Decentralized finance. Program. Well, I like the DeFi side. Program to support DeFi projects on the XRPL. Camp. Jeff, DeFi coming to XRPL? Man.
DeFi and the XRPL. So boot camp, DeFi and the XRPL. What's number 3? No, 4? What's number 5?
Let's see. Expanded judging committee, growing the panel of XRPL grants program judges to ensure diverse viewpoints and expertise when evaluating projects. So there you go.
Sustainability.
It's already sustainable. There you go.
Hey, carbon credits. Awesome. Carbon credit. I think we need to develop a carbon credit payment system on the XRPL. It'll be quick. If you want to pay your carbon credits,
that's right.
You can do it instantly. Instant carbon credit payment. Be transparent, so you get paid, or
it goes into our accounts, right, Jeff?
That's right.
Okay, just saying.
Good. It's exactly right.
I knew it, Jeff.
It's a good fund. It's the OTC Carbon Credit Fund. That's
yeah.
It's perfect.
And in other news here, so it's been an interesting day just for news release as far as things that are being shared and coming out. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and do something different here. But I want to say that Ripple did a Ripple drop, and it's probably one of my favorite ones that they've done in some time. And there's been a lot of great ones out there. Usually they're cut up into little mini segments. And this one here, it's just solid all the way around because you got one of my favorite Ripplers there. Well, 2 of my favorite Ripplers. I like Reinhard Kate a lot, who hosts it because he's a pretty good dude. And let me go ahead and share this so that I get the audio, Jeff. You want to make sure you get the audio. It's always a better experience. So it's always funny, that music. It hasn't changed since the first Ripple drop.
So this one's to crypto coins. There you go.
There you go. So let's watch a little bit of this. It's about 8 minutes long. We'll probably stop it in segments and kind of comment on it because it's a long time to play 8 minutes through.
Yeah, let's do 1 minute segments.
Yeah, we'll do like 1.5, wherever it ends. We'll do smaller segments
seconds.
and kind of comment on it. But here we go. Let's make sure
right,
that
hey,
audio
let's
is.
comment on that real quick.
Is that audio turned up? Yes, it is. All right, let's make sure that that's good.
Check that. Here we go.
Hey, I'm Reinhard Kate, and welcome to episode 26 of the Ripple Drop. This episode, we're talking all things RippleNet. So, on-demand liquidity, and if you were paying attention at Swell, Liquidity Hub. We've got the one and only Asheesh Birla, so let's get this started.
Oh, let's go.
So, Asheesh, 2021 was a really big year for on-demand liquidity. We're going to talk about that in a second, but let's get back to the basics, the foundations of the market in general. What is liquidity, and why is on-demand liquidity important?
It's a great question. And, at the very, very beginning, when there was Bitcoin, the first thing you wanted to do was make Bitcoin liquid. And what that meant was you can interchange it for US dollars. And that is facilitated through something called a crypto exchange. Coinbase, Bitstamp, Bitso, and Latam are exchanges, and they facilitate liquidity. And the great thing about crypto liquidity is that it's easier to move around the world compared to something like fiat currency that needs a large number of banks and central banks to make it liquid and move around the world. So that's the great thing about crypto, is that it's way more liquid, and over the years it's becoming more and more liquid. If you look at the market today, hundreds of billions of dollars in crypto is traded on a daily basis.
Liquid.
That is up from 2013, when it wasn't even crossing $1 billion of liquidity. As we see more and more crypto liquidity come into the market, we're able to offer a better product experience. That means you can send cross-border payments for a cheaper rate. And that's the great thing. And what we've seen in the crypto market is that about every year, the amount of liquidity doubles. And so again, that is a great thing because it's a better user experience for our customers.
What kind of growth?
So interesting, Jeff. Thoughts?
We talk a lot about the need for instant cash. This idea of having, fast access, having liquidity, not having to go through the typical banking infrastructure, which is slow and outdated. And that, I think that's really, that's the basis, for most successful business transaction, most successful movement of money between banks or financial institutions, is if you can do it instantly and not have to rely on, getting, things tied up for days on end. And so that's, they're addressing, a major issue here, but it kind of gets me thinking of something we're talking about earlier before we started, which we'll touch on later, which is, why the Ukraine right now is legitimizing cryptocurrency, why Russia is legitimizing cryptocurrency, why countries all over the world right now are looking at the sanctions being levied against Russia and saying, you know what, either we go with CBDCs or we go with crypto. Why Arizona is trying to, make, crypto kind of center stage. And we're starting to see that on a grand scale. It's interesting that it's all of a sudden, but going back to the liquidity pool, crypto liquidity, not everybody has a liquidity pool, a liquidity hub, or an, on-demand liquidity solution like Ripple is set up. So let's go back and listen.
Let's do this. Hans Lotus says it wrong. I feel like taking a scissor and cutting off the man bun. I was like, well, when I had really long hair, the thing is, in a business setting, you have to do something with it. And so, otherwise you let the freak flag.
Man bun.
You let the freak flag fly, and it happens, man. This like this part of the
City Radio.
Here we go.
On RippleNet in 2021.
So I couldn't be happier with the user experience for our customers.
What kind of growth have you seen on RippleNet in 2021?
So I couldn't be happier with the year that we had in 2021 with RippleNet. We ended the year at a $10 billion run rate in terms of volume moving through RippleNet as a whole. And we're in 22 destination markets with on-demand liquidity. And that was a core piece of feedback that we heard from customers. They want that product, but they want it in more destinations. We're close to having global coverage of ODL, which is super exciting.
What benefits have
pause that, Chip. That's interesting. How many people have said that ODL isn't being utilized, right? And now in 22 markets,
it's pretty big. Yeah, not only that, but you look at $20 billion run rate. It's pretty sizable. I mean, and I like the fact he's talking about how the liquidity doubles year after year. So we're starting to roll. We're getting there.
Close to having global coverage of ODL, which is super exciting.
What benefits have RippleNet customers seen by using on-demand liquidity?
It's a couple of things. Number one, it's more capital efficient to use ODL. And historically, it was a problem. But as interest rates increase, as we are potentially going to see in the United States in 2022, the cost of capital is also going to increase. And the savings you get in terms of capital usage with ODL is going to be even more substantial. That means that our customers before ODL had to pre-fund using expensive capital in the destinations. With the ODL, they no longer have to do that. Number two, it's faster to move money with ODL cross borders. So you get that speed increase. And then lastly, as we talked about earlier, the price in terms of sending money cross borders continues to go down as crypto liquidity goes up. And again, these are three really, really good sort of trends that are working in the favor of the value proposition for RippleNet's on-demand liquidity product.
Pretty cool. I mean, it's really good the way he breaks this down here. And coming up, he has a really great analogy for describing the liquidity hub.
You made a pretty big announcement at Swell this year. A new product is launching, Liquidity Hub. So how did on-demand liquidity influence the creation of Liquidity Hub?
It's a great question. So over the years, we've been really, really good and experts in provisioning global crypto liquidity around the world. No one has processed more in cross-border payments using crypto liquidity than Ripple. So we've become experts on provisioning liquidity through market makers, third-party market makers. We've been experts in tapping into global liquidity using exchanges around the world. And when our customers started asking us, hey, we can source cross-border payment liquidity from your products, is there a possibility that we can offer our customers digital assets such as Bitcoin and Ether and so forth? We already had all the infrastructure built for ODL, and we had expertise in building crypto liquidity. So it was a really natural evolution of our product set, and we were able to bring the product to market a lot quicker because we had all this infrastructure built.
Ripple has taken a crypto first world approach. And with Liquidity Hub, it has functionality for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of other coins on launch. Can you get a little bit into that functionality and how specifically that works?
Yeah, you can think of it as, you can think of Liquidity Hub as Google Flights or Kayak, but for crypto liquidity. We are going to integrate across a number of different exchanges, leveraging a lot of that infrastructure that we already built for ODL, and find the best rate for how much liquidity you want to source in terms of the cryptos that we offer. That should be a one integration into our product to get the best rates across all these different liquidity venues.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow, I love it. He's bringing up some solid points, and I think the timing of everything right now as they're really expanding on this. Yeah, they position themselves at the opportune moments. But you say they've been developing it over 10 years. The whole project, but right now as we're getting ready to see inflation skyrocket and cost of money is definitely going to go up. And so now we brought up some solid points in order to even try to access. It's going to get more and more expensive in the traditional mechanism, and having anything faster, more readily available, it's really going to change the nature of the game. But I really think that at this point, from a political perspective, as we see things kind of imploding in different parts of the world, and we there's so much reference leading up to now with these black swan events, but economically, It just seems on a global scale, things are starting to shift at a rapid pace right now. And Ripple's kind of, right there ready with this liquidity hub. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on, Jeff. I mean, what's happening is 2021 was big, but just imagine where 2022 is going. It's what 2020 was a phenomenal year. Ripple every year best its previous quarter, best its previous year. This is not a company that's slowing down. And that's why I always say, when you do your research and you know what you hold and you look at 20 billion run rate, and that's really small time at this point, but it's a pretty decent start. And the fact is that it's proof of concept over and over again, the fact that this works and the whole idea of cross-border. And when we think about moving value from one country to another country, it's really just moving it on the globe. It won't really matter where you're located. It doesn't matter if I'm 40 miles north of you, 30 kilometers north of you, or let's say, for example, you're on the other side of the world or you're in Antarctica. It doesn't matter. It's bringing all that together. And what's happening is the legacy systems that are challenged here are going to fight. They're not going to give up. It's kind of like the Tim Draper. First they say, nobody cares about that. Then when they start seeing the adoption, they're like, whoa, hang on a second. Hold up. They care. And then they want to jump in and figure out how many things can they buy up, or can they tank the price by being down on it like JP Morgan did. And Jamie Dimon, it was like, Bitcoin's dumb, and my daughter buys Bitcoin and she's dumb, and everybody's dumb. And meanwhile, when the price drops, all of a sudden, you never know who's buying in at those dips, Jeff.
No, and the dips are good right now. There's a lot of focus on the crypto space, and and the biggest dip is going to come in the fiat. So as the fiat currency, man, it's kind of a terrifying realization, where that the whole world economy is shifting. That we see it, we know that it's coming. We've talked about it. We have lots and lots of other people are talking about it, and now we're kind of at that moment where, man, it could be right around the corner. And then you see what's kind of unfolded in front of us, like what recently happened up in Canada, and you start seeing, wow, they can block your bank accounts. They can shut down your credit cards, and that's in a free country. And then, we're getting ready to see, like in a war-torn zone, in a war zone in the Ukraine, they don't have, access to the banking infrastructure right now. So if you don't have access to your banking infrastructure, what do? How do you get your money? Well, you know what? You have an app on your phone. You can plug your phone in. You can gain access to your finances. You can move your XRP. The Russians, same thing. The Russians are getting ready to to pass they're passing some legalization of and licensing for banks to be the epicenter, a certain bank to be an epicenter of distribution of crypto. And so we're really starting to see a shift in the narrative. The other point, Chip, with all of this, you see what's going on with the digital yuan.
Don't mind me, Jeff. I was going to kick back. I was going to let you carry the rest of the show while I have a few more Guinnesses.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's absolutely fine. I mean, nobody's really paid attention, but is this what you're talking about, Jeff? Bam!
There it is. The Ukraine legalizes crypto sector as digital currency donations continue to pour in. So let
me ask you a question, Jeff.
That's it right there.
Let me ask you a question. I want an honest answer here. So if you just received $13 billion from the United States Congress, it just funneled in your country, what would you do? What would be the best way that you could possibly move that out of the country without putting it into, let's say, fiat back? It would, trucks and trucks of fiat and moving it out of the country. What would be the best potential way that you could maybe put that somewhere?
I'd put that on a ledger.
I put that on a ledger. I put that on any of the ledgers. I split it across all the different.
Here
I put it on every ledger. I put it on Bitcoin, Ethereum. You just load it up, and it's on these little. It's in custody somewhere, and nobody knows. And my gosh, what a great! And it's amazing the timing. 13 billion gets transferred, and all of a sudden it's legal. The exchanges are back on. What's weird is the exchanges didn't go down, Jeff. They're perfectly okay. They're ready to.
No, yeah, exchanges are up, man.
Ready to do business.
They're ready to do business, Jeff. And this is the real world right now. They're realizing the inefficiencies of the fiat market, and so you can't even move. Imagine you don't have access to your banking infrastructure. You're not moving your money, but you have access to online exchanges. You have your ledger. You can get into any one of these, any one of these exchanges can open up to that country. If it's Coinbase or Bitrue or Binance or who knows, one of the many others, all of a sudden, someone in the Ukraine, they've got access to their exchange here. Oh, got $13 billion in my Binance account. Man, I've got it. Look at that sitting there in XRP. Now we're talking.
That's right. That's right.
Now things just got real. Can you imagine? Zelensky's. He's like, man, my account just got real.
Well, don't worry. He was what were those? The Panama Papers. He was in the Panama Papers. Okay, his name was in there because he was already out. He already had a lot of money offshore. Because I don't know people realize that or remember that, but a lot of people have short-term history memories when it comes to history. And XRP Panic said, "Thanks, okay, Simon. I didn't want any." Well, listen, when we have the big meetup, you guys make sure you come down. Make sure we can all drink beers together, some Guinness and all that together. So
that's right. So Rye Guy saying, hey, still amazed me. They can almost overnight send 13 billion to another country, yet citizens got a couple of $1,200 checks. That's insane to me.
Yeah. And pretty soon you won't own anything, but you're going to be happy about it.
You're going to be happy with nothing. That's it. Crypto G, I kind of like this. We should do this on Thursdays. Thursdays, OTC. Next week is bourbon.
Okay, we'll have Crypto G to come on and drink some bourbon with us on Thursday. Oh, come on, we'll drink some bourbon.
Thursdays. It'll be sweet. We go. And Matt is saying convert it all to XRP Doge.
Why would you do
that? XR Doge?
Let's do it to XR Doge. I mean, why wouldn't you, Jeff? I mean, it sounds like the great thing. XR Doge.
I like the idea of the XR Doge. It sounds good too. XR Doge.
Yeah, and the funny part about that, you remember all the deliberation about what it would take to give out checks or to help the people out that lost their jobs. This was like, do you guys want to do it? Yep. Okay, next. Where are we going? Where's the party? It was that fast. It was like snapping your fingers and it was done. There was no deliberation. There was no wondering about it. There was yep, not a problem. So that's interesting. But when you look at something where you have Ukraine, which is under siege, and they've got time to sign some framework about cryptocurrency. And meanwhile, I don't know what's happening in this country. People are just sleeping or what, but it's a little bit on the crazy. And then Jeff, just on the heels of that story, there's this one, which is kind of odd. It's so, hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. So Russia's top lender, Sberbank, gets licensed to issue digital assets. The blockchain transactions are expected to begin in a month. The bank's being sanctioned by the U.S. and the European Union. Russia's central bank has granted Sberbank. I don't know how do you pronounce it? SBER in Russian. Sberbank.
I don't know.
PGSC, the nation's biggest lender. They got a license, Jeff. And here's a bank that's sanctioned and they got a license. Meanwhile, the people in New York can't even purchase crypto in New York. You see what I'm saying? Like there's something very wrong.
Something is backwards.
Here's a country that's been basically everybody's pulled out. Everybody's put the sanctions on there. And they're like, oh yeah, well, sure. You want a crypto license, digital assets? Yeah, not a problem. So
there you go. Sergey's like, hell yeah, here we go.
Yeah, using service platform, companies can issue their own digital assets to attract market investments, buy digital assets. See, this is incredible. They can issue their own digital assets. That's got an S on the end, Jeff. So they can to attract market investments. They're not like to attract market investments. Okay, they can issue their own digital assets. Sounds an awful lot like an IPO to me, which that wouldn't happen here with Gary Gensler. And then, or make digital asset transactions. The bank sent a statement Thursday. We're just starting our work with digital assets. Says Sergey Popov, director of the transaction business division at Sberbank. And
well, they see what's happening. The writing's on the wall. this interesting predicament that we're in right now. It's kind of like, you start falling, you make one bad decision, then another bad decision, then another bad decision, and then all of a sudden it's a year later
like
of all these bad
someone's life.
It's like you have a whole year now of all these bad decisions and all these bad things happening domestically and internationally. And then it's kind of led to, an international conflict, because of lots of bad policies and decisions. And now all of a sudden, the world is looking and saying, man, you know what? We're probably better off without the US currency. We're probably better off without the USD. Of
course they're better off, Jeff.
Of course region to region. And man, this isn't where, as a country, that has the, preeminent reserve, has the reserve currency of the world, all of a sudden you're like, well, you know what? That's changing. Things are shifting, and it's going to happen rapidly at this point.
Right. And it kind of goes in line. I mean, if you look, whether you like the previous president or not, I thought there was one good piece of advice, which really isn't advice. It's really how things should work. But when he said your country, you should always put your country first. Everything you do in your country, you should look at it in terms of your country comes first. You enter whatever name, whether it's Ireland first, UK first, Australia first, in the sense that you have that pride. You want to do what's best in the best interest of your company, your country, that kind of the same thing. But what I see here is that if you poll, and it doesn't matter, whatever conflict's going on, you polled people in both of those regions, the majority of people do not want any conflicts. They don't want any wars. But why do we keep putting these yahoos in charge on both sides, Jeff? They're warmongers. And somebody said the other day, I read something where they said, you know what? If you are in a legislative body in a government and you vote for war, you should immediately get packed into a bus, whisked off to the very first plane, and right to the front line, giving your stuff. Here you go. Here's your gun. Here's your this. Here's your grenades. Good luck. Thank you for going. And let's see how many conflicts we get into. I doubt we get into any conflicts, because it's always easier to say, yeah, we'll send some other kids off, but go ahead, get on the next bus, get whisked away. You vote. It would be like some crazy Netflix where they vote and all of a sudden they go, doo, doo. There's a big siren and everything, like the door's locked. The guards come, they get him. Well, what's going on? What's going on? They're all geriatric anyway, Jeff. What's going? Especially that Mitch McConnell. So they whisk him off, put him on a plane. Next thing you know, they're like, "Here, where are we? Go in the front lines, buddy, because you voted for it." I can see that.
It's crazy. It's a disaster. But think about this. I mean, now you have, two antagonists, to everything that we've been working on, Russia and China, and so if they're both now saying, you know what, we're going to go do our own thing. We don't need, the global infrastructure. We don't need the US dollar as a reserve currency. We're going to find a new methodology. You want to put sanctions on the country, on companies in this country. Well, we're going to go crypto, and then let those companies now start raising funds, globally. Then go to China. Hey, China, you want to invest in our company?
Yeah.
Here you go. Do it via crypto. Okay, great. Now all of a sudden they're investing. Do the Russians want digital yuan? Hell no. They don't want digital yuan, because that's, the Chinese currency.
Let's not choose for them, Jeff. We don't know what they really want. I think they just want to be heard. I just want to be loved, just like everybody. I don't know. I don't know, Jeff. Who knows?
I don't know if they do or don't, but I just have a feeling. But then you have, with China with their digital yuan, super controlled. Pull up the article from Edward Snowden. It might be at the bottom.
I already had the Kiyosaki one up.
All right, do the Kiyosaki one, then we'll do Snowden, because Kiyosaki's good, and then Snowden is kind of like tips the scales on it.
Yeah. So Robert Kiyosaki, by the way, if you want to, I've read all his books. They're phenomenal books, especially Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I highly recommend it. Yeah. The story goes, his rich dad was really his best friend's dad that gave him all the great financial advice. And his poor dad was his dad, who was a very successful, he lived in Hawaii, a very successful, I believe he was a teacher, but he was at the upper echelon and did very well. So it's a really remarkable book. It's something you want to give you want to pass off to your son or daughter at 12 or 13 and say, hey, read this book. This will tell you everything you need to do with life and how it works before you get to an age where it's like, sorry, too late, But Kiyosaki says that he predicts the end of the US dollar, says war giving rise to crypto as safe haven than fiat money. And there he is right there. And he's written so many books, but he's known for Rich Dad, Poor Dad. 97 book, co-authored by Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter, based on the New York Times bestseller list over 6 years. 32 million copies of a book, Jeff. That's a lot. Over 51 languages, so that's not going to be a barrier. But he put out a tweet that says Bitcoin and war. IBD investors, Investors Business Daily reports that many Russians
great publication
using Bitcoin as lifeline after ruble collapse. 13% of Ukrainians, 12% of Russians, 8% of Americans own crypto. Ukraine/Russia war given rise to crypto as a safer haven, I should say, than government fake fiat money. Ooh.
Oh man.
Boom, Jeff.
That's a slam right there.
Man. But Kiyosaki's great. I mean, he's put out he's gotten really, what I like about him, he's really raw. And he put something out the other day that was just, it made me crack up, but not something I want to repeat here just because, Jeff. He explained further in a different tweet about investing in oil.
Very interesting. Oh yeah.
I do not invest in oil companies such as Mobil Exxon. I invest directly into oil wells. Higher risk for higher returns. Tax breaks, fantastic. 2 wells come in last week as oil went from $70 to $130 a barrel. Rich get rich, the poor suffer, the famed author wrote. Last week, Kiyosaki warned we're in the biggest bubble in history and that the U.S. government will seize all cryptocurrencies.
Oh, he got a lot of flack for that.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a lot of flack for it, but is it possible? Yes. I mean, if you said 5 years ago, I'd be like, no. Is it possible now? It's possible.
With the current climate, they could, I don't know how they would do it. I guess they could try. But how are you going to seize them all and fold them into government crypto? Because then you have to seize it from everyone all over the world.
Jeff, here's the one thing. Now, the framers and the founders of the United States, it's probably one of the greatest stories ever told. But when they were trying to think of when they were ratifying the Constitution, which took, I think it was 18 or 19 years, from the Federalist Papers and knock down, drag out, punching war, fights to figure out how they were going to do it. You had all kinds of factions. It wasn't just 2, you had 3, 4 people that all had their own ideas. But the one idea they had was pretty good. It's called the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And the fact is there are more guns than people in this country, and tyranny probably will not be happening anytime soon in this country. But when you think about tyranny, Jeff, you think about one thing, that when it comes to tyranny, it's when it's for the individual and for the people, then you have democracies that thrive. When it becomes the opposite, when it's more about the collective, that's when you have tyranny, and that's when tyranny thrives. So it's like 6 of one, half dozen of those others.
And then, Chip, you have to ask these questions. Why do Biden's, Pelosi, and Romney's sons all have deals in the Ukraine? Interesting.
Well, yeah, it is interesting.
It's also interesting, that whole conversation with the labs that they've been talking about over in the Ukraine. It was funny how it wasn't true, then it was true, then what was in them wasn't true, then it was true, then who paid for them wasn't true, and then it is true. So it's like, what in the world is going on? Hey, check out, we got XRP Chevy 954. Looks like he's from Broward County.
That's right in our backyard.
Broward County.
So you have another Kiyosaki tweet. The end of USD dollars. Saudi Arabia just agreed to sell China. Well, that's not what happened. That turned out to be a fake story. The Saudi nationals said that no, that they never said that.
It wasn't.
Yeah. So anyway, but again, it's good to speculate. Good to think about it. But no, that was a one of those silly news stories that was not true.
Nope. All right, now Snowden.
Let's pull up Snowden.
No, it's interesting. That Snowden came out and he was speaking at an event, and he started talking about, and we all know how much you like central bank digital currencies. You love that whole centralized notion of finance where the government has full control and full authoritarian control over how you spend it and what you do with it. You know, you like the idea how they track you, you know, and all those good things that a central bank digital currency can do for you when they can say, you know, you don't get to spend your money anymore. People love that. It's awesome. Right, Chip? Not so much.
Yeah, it's not so much, but Snowden slams the central bank digital currencies. The risk is very easy to illustrate, which you will see from time to time on the chain here. And there he is talking to a bunch of people. We've seen he's growing a little beard. Hair's growing out a little bit. Looking good. Snowden weighed in on the rise.
Still in Russia? Or is he down in like Chile?
I think he's still in Russia, yeah. So in an interview with Marta Belcher, president of Filecoin Foundation and general counsel of Protocol Labs, whistleblower said the risk is easy to illustrate. His problem with CBDCs is they could give governments too much power over citizens' finances. His choice of analogy, Scrooge McDuck and DuckTales, the cartoon from the late 80s. Now, if you remember, Scrooge, Snowden recalled, had a giant vault full of coins and dollar bills and really just gold, everything in there. And if he needed money, a giant magnet comes out of the top of it, just pulls dollars out of everybody in the town's pockets. And that's what the CBDC is, right?
That's how it works.
That's what it all really is.
It's exactly.
I don't know if the Scrooge McDuck
like, oh, we need money.
Well,
remember Scrooge McDuck?
You could pull it out, but I think the better analogy would be that if somebody, you know, it's the whole idea. If you didn't like something, it's like, wait a minute. It's like, oh, you know, like one of those like the roving eyes, cameras everywhere, and it zooms in on a guy, and he's licking an ice cream cone full of vanilla. But vanilla's been banned, Jeff. You can't have vanilla ice cream in this town. And so all of a sudden, it scans him, knows who he is. He has no value. He cannot purchase it anymore. Or you can restrict people from buying a certain item. It's like, well, wait a minute, I want to buy this. Sorry, it doesn't. Your transaction doesn't go through. But the level of control, certainly, and this is one of the reasons I don't get the value of CBDCs. There's really no value. Let's face it, the money's digital now, and so it's another excuse to print more money. So it's a very bizarro sort of thing. What else you got, Jeff? Get another story to pop up there.
Let's see.
How about the Coinbase one? That's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, pull the Coinbase one up. There we go.
Yeah, so look at this. This is interesting. Coinbase got hit with a $5 million lawsuit over unlicensed sale of Dogecoin and, you know, Jeff, just 78 other crypto assets. They are all supposedly unlicensed
what's
securities.
So now they were sued by 3 individuals. Don't you think they're kind of their patsies or their shills for the SEC? Or
it sort of seems like a plant, the timing, Jeff. It's like they're trying to drum up some good press. It was kind of like that XRP lawsuit that happened from that guy in Florida. The timing right around when the SEC filed the lawsuit, it starts looking a little.
It's a little crazy, you know, and just doesn't look. It has a really bad look. So, you know, these guys, 3 Coinbase users accusing them of selling unlicensed securities. I mean, come on.
They want $5 million on behalf of themselves and everyone who purchased them. For what though? It's a frivolous lawsuit. They'll say, "Hey, but they're not unlicensed securities." Right?
Dogecoin, Solana, Cardano. What?
But here's the thing, Jeff. Why? But if you play along with the SEC, in the SEC's eyes, they could say, well, they could actually be expert witnesses giving testimony, because they would say, yeah, they bought they absolutely are unregistered, but of course, there's no real clear guidelines. But the funny thing, it says it also includes Chainlink, Polygon, and Shiba Inu. Say it's not so, Jeff. Not Shibu.
Not Polygon.
Not the Shiba Inu, man. That's crazy. A lawsuit says and it names Brian Armstrong as a defendant. Sure. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then quotes a recent speech by...
This is legit.
Quotes a speech by SEC Chair Gensler that liken crypto to the Wild West. See, so this is like people capitalizing.
But this is BS. I don't even think it's people. Jeff. I don't even think it's people capitalizing. I think Gary's behind it. I think they're crazy. They're paying these big big finder's fees to people for whistleblowing. The SEC paid out like a huge amount. I think record payout last year in whistleblower fund. And look at what we saw. What are they going after? The SEC's going after Carbon. They're going after what we talked about the accounting firms. And so now all of a sudden they realize they're losing all over the place. They're getting lambasted in the Ripple case. So they say, you know what, here's a good idea. Let's get 3 other people. Let's get them to go after Coinbase. Like, what grounds do individuals have to sue Coinbase for now all of a sudden selling an unregistered security? Like, how do they know? Like, how do they know it's an unregistered security? Did someone say it was a security? They're just coming out and claiming it? Just 3 random individuals?
Yeah, but I think what they're playing off is the whole idea of they're jumping on the SEC bandwagon saying, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure the SEC would be behind this. There's no doubt that the SEC is behind this, right? I mean, that's kind of what I think they're saying in a weird way.
So bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre. I feel like we're definitely in this parallel universe now. You know, especially now that, you know, I guess the parallel universe started a little while ago, but now it's getting even more parallel. Like, let the SEC do that. Like, as an individual, are you really going to say, like you just brought up the guys that sued Ripple and went after them because what did he lose? $100 in XRP?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, Jeff. So ridiculous.
It's just so ridiculous. It's so absurd.
I wanted to play this. Look at this little bit right here that I wanted to play. Let me go into that. That's not it. There we go, right here. Let's play this little thing. This is our pal Jon Stewart. Remember Jon Stewart from he's got that new show on Apple TV called The Problem, which I've never seen.
Back?
But
is he back? Is he relevant?
Well, let's listen to what he has to say here.
Dude, he aged.
It's looking at that.
Wow.
It's pretty clear that the image of the United States as a beacon of free market capitalism, where the government doesn't choose winners and losers, and just this laissez-faire invisible hand creates the wealth. This is how God intended money to be made, is a fabrication and a fallacy. And I think the whole point of the episode was to show that as specifically as we could, and to show that it's all a manipulation. It's just a question of where the powers that be decide to put the emphasis in that moment.
I can't say I disagree with him there, Jeff. Can you?
No, it sounds like he's being red-pilled.
It sounds like something's going on there, Jeff. I was like, he's talking about, you know, the government picking winners and losers has always been bad. As you let the free markets pick it, he's talking about there are no more free markets, and the fact that, so yeah, I thought that was a pretty good clip. He's I have to say,
Interesting.
I quite agree with it. I can't say that I
What
disagree
is going
with
on with him? He is a little boring alchemist. Said, watch out, John, will put you in a coma.
You know, I mean, look, people think a lot of stuff's happened, Jeff. A lot of things happen, and people are reevaluating things. They're looking at things and saying, just not sure about how things are going on right now. I'm not really sure about. And one thing we really learn is that, you know, the cryptocurrencies are bringing the world together. One of the reasons we love doing this is because we have people from all over the world.
All
XRP
over the world.
Chevy 954. Is it a 954? There you go. Yeah. Well, the good news is we're losing. We lost more subs. So I guess it's just it might be the content, Jeff. It could be very possible.
We're filtering people. Sometimes it's good to have a house cleaning. You know, you got to filter things out and then make some room for, you know, for the right-minded people to come in.
That is right. There's a lot
of it is, but we appreciate everybody here. We always love everybody's opinions. And you know what's great, Chip, is that by far we have the best and the brightest, the smartest in the YouTube crypto space. And now we're still building the best and the brightest over on Rumble too, because we are streaming over to Rumble actually. And,
what's going on in Rumble world, Jeff? We got anybody watching at the moment?
We have one person watching tonight.
Hello,
but you know what? We're now up to 5 subscribers, and we have 39 rumbles, which are like 39 thumbs up. So that's kind of cool. But I just realized that last night I never ended the stream on Rumble. So it wasn't until today that the video processed. So that's up.
How do you have to end it?
I have to go back on Rumble and end it over there. So when we're done here, then I got to go there. I click end. It ends it. It posts it. And then this video will be on Rumble. But if I don't do that, then all they see is the intro.
Yeah, guys. So if you're into, and also too, we have a podcast. So I want to remind everybody that we have a podcast. And the best way to find out where we actually are would be go to onthechain.io and we pull it up here. And again, the reason I say it's because sometimes, just follow us now. You might be in your car and you might want to listen in. You're looking, got a little bit of mileage, or maybe you're not going anywhere these days with the price of gasoline. It's all very strange.
Sir John, faster growing on Rumble than on YouTube.
True story. That is a true story. The fact that we picked up 4.
We have a net 500% growth rate in Rumble. So that's pretty good.
That's that's something, isn't it, Jeff? Sir John with always crunching those numbers. He is an economist, you guys. You guys realize that, right?
So number cruncher.
Crunching the numbers. But here you go right here. So if you wanted to go follow us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and you can just go there, whatever's native, and listen to us here. Listen to us if Spotify is your thing, Stitcher, whatever. So we're on we're on all of them. So as soon as we conclude this show, probably within about 15 minutes, that show is posted, and also you'll find it posted here on the podcast. So you can always go, and there's a couple different ways. You want to watch last night's show, you can go here. You can listen to it here.
Check out that cool thumbnail.
There it is, right there.
Look at that. 6/18
like
to 2022. You gotta love that. XRP Chevy would say, my neighbors Chip and Jeff are awake and aware.
You could say that. You might say that, Rabbit. You might. That was one of the greatest Bugs Bunny episodes of all time, Jeff. I spent too much time.
XRP Panic says, what the hell is Stitcher?
Dude, sorry. Stitcher is this right here. Stitcher is first of all, I'm going to pull up our stats, see if we can look at our stats, but Stitcher, I think, is usually like 2 or 3 that people listen to us on. That means you guys are not listening to it on your favorite if you don't know what Stitcher is. So if you're an iPhone, you can listen to Apple podcasts. If you're Android, you can go to Google. And if you're like me, which I prefer, I'm actually a bigger fan of Spotify. So I listen to it on Spotify.
Good.
All my podcasts are on Spotify or Apple Music. That's the 2. But that's pretty much it. So yeah, you can. They're all
Apple
here.
Music.
They're all here. There's Stitcher right there.
Listen now.
Let's listen. Jeez, that's kind of loud, Jeff. You can't hear it, but my gosh,
can't hear it.
We're looking down the chain. Almost blew my ears out. But that's what you're going to get on the website here. There we go. Where are we? Yep, there we go. So
that's what we got. You guys are here. And that's it.
It's the best one ever. We're like XRP, go to Doge to the moon. That's awesome. What kind of watch they're wearing there, Jeff?
That is a Shinola.
Here you go. Is it a Shinola?
Shit from Shinola.
I didn't say that.
Shinola. Man, made in Detroit.
That's right.
That's right.
So they're all here. Interviews are here. You can see everything. And that's it, Jeff. That's all we have. You guys know that we broadcast when, Jeff?
6 days per week. Look at that. It's written right there. You can flash it around Sunday through Thursday. Tonight is Thursday. Man, so we'll be back Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I can talk. And it will be great. Everything will be perfect. And
no, let's tell the truth, Jeff. Everything will be it'll be pretty close, but it'll fall short of perfect, and we'll lose 6 more subs. So
no.
It's all good. It's a great show. It's really what makes the show is you guys. You guys make the show. Share it with your friends. Wake up your neighbors. Tell them, hey, watch out. You watching on the chain? What's wrong with you? Watch on the chain.
Now we got 4 people watching over on Rumble, which is outstanding.
What's going on, Rumble? We just second night on Rumble. Hello, 4 people watching us right now. Good to see you guys.
3 people.
You can check on the chain. But again, we do
subscribe on Rumble.
We do a crypto. We do a geopolitical show here, so you can do a little bit of both. So it's all good, Jeff.
It's outstanding. Love everybody here. You guys are awesome. Happy St. Patrick's Day for those that are celebrating. Have a Jameson. Have a Guinness. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep. Chip and Jeff out. Happy St. Patty's Day. If you're On the other side of the world, you already missed it. You already had a good time last night. But anyway, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to tune in on Saturday. Chip and Jeff out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.